video, and Merry Christmas. Hope you like the hat. It's nice and warm in here with this hat on, and I hope you like Eleanor's decorations. I mentioned in the last video I was hoping to do like some sort of fun project. Everyone was giving me ideas in the last video about a trailer, about a minibar, about a barbecue. I maybe will do that at some point in the future after the restorations, but I didn't want to cut up the last mini I had, and I'm limited to room as you all know, so I thought, what can I do, what kind of project? So, here's what I came up with. The wheel, I'm going to be replacing these because you can get a set of wheels and tyres for about £400 starting from there, and yeah, I could spend time refurbing them, but at the end of the day I don't know if they're buckled and I want a nice looking car when I'm finished. So what I thought was, rather than waste them, rather than bin them, I'm going to turn it into a mini clock because I need a clock for the garage, and I thought it'll be fun to try. I've got a vision in my head of what I think or hope it's going to be like, and hopefully it is. I'm sure there'll be snags along the way, but yeah, I thought it'd be like a fun wee Christmas themed thing to do, so stay with me and we'll try and get this thing done. Right, so what parts am I going to need? Clock movement and the hands so I can actually tell the time when it's ready. Thought I'd go for a nice Cooper badge that goes in the centre cap of the wheel, and I went for, you can get two options actually, one is with the black writing and one's with the red, but I thought I'll go with the black. The L clips for the wall, L brackets for the wall, and the various different types of primer, paint and lacquer for it. So let's have a look at this wheel and see how we're going to do this. So the wheel, not too bad on the outside, it's a bit dirty. The inside's always going to be worse, it's flaking, corroding. But the wire brush will soon take care of that. Plus, if you think we're cutting this in half, so there's only going to be a small proportion left. You could have left the full wheel, but I don't want it sticking out of the wall too much, so I am going to cut it. There's a line here where it tapers off. I think I'm going to look at cutting it here once I've ground all that off. So the centre cap just pops out. I've had issues taking tyres off before without having the machine that does it. So I'm going to just see how tight this tyre is. I've got the tool that takes the valve off. Normally you'd expect a whoosh of air, but this must have been one of the tyres that was flat, because that's the valve out. So I've tried before to put a pry bar in here and try and pull it over. It's hard with two hands, I certainly can't do it with one hand, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take it to one of the local garages and get them to just nip it off for me, and then I can get back here with the wheel and we can start cleaning that and marking that up to get it cut. So I'm going to get the mini wheel taken off, and this shows my dedication because it is frozen. Right, so we've come back from the garage and they've removed the tyre for us. A lot less hassle than fighting with it and causing injury or damaging things. They charged me £5. I know if I'd went to some other garages they wouldn't have charged me for it, but it's a Sunday and there's only one open, so I thought £5. So what I'm going to do, it's a fairly clear line here. I'm going to cut to this line here, around here, because you can see that takes it to the flat edge there, and you know it's getting rid of this bit, so we've still got a good bit to come from the wall. It is a fairly clear line to cut along, but what I'm going to do is just use some masking tape because it's easy to see now, but when you've got goggles on and an angle grinder, it isn't as clear, whereas white masking tape shows it up a bit better. So what I'm going to do, because of my arm, I'm going to go along to my friend Steve's house, and he's going to cut it for me. So, we trip in the car, and what we're going to do is just cut along this side here, all the way around here, leaving this section. Right, so this is us at Steve's garage. He's going to cut this wheel for me. Just a very quick look at one of the other projects we've got ongoing just now, but I'm not going to go into that too much detail because this is a mini channel and that's an MX5, so that's as much as I'm going to go into detail for that. So we're just giving this a quick wire brush on the inside to stop all the dust and everything flying everywhere. Then we're just going to cut it. Woohoo! Photo frame. Steve was going to be a surgeon in a former life. Look at the precision. And it's starting to look like a clock, sort of. It's heavier than what I thought, actually. So, because it was round, it makes it awkward, and you can see the try to hold it at the same time with it cutting a leg off's another thing. So all we have to do is just basically get that ground smooth, but it should come up fairly nice. Right, so we're back in my garage after Steve doing that for me yesterday. It was freezing there. The temperature gauge says -7.5, but his garage is an outbuilding and it's not greatly insulated, so it was really cold. And I've told you before, I don't really feel the cold. Well, I felt like yesterday. So we only done a wee bit. What we done was we separated the wheel, as you've seen. So this is the wheel here. It's a bit rough cut. We've not really got the right tools to do this, and we're not going to go and spend tools for something we're not going to use all the time, not at this stage anyway. So you can see there was deep gouges here, but the plan is, well, not the plan, what I'm going to do is, this is all getting ground down anyway, between the grinder and the grinding wheel. So that's all going to get tidied up. That's the plan just now. Then the wheel is going to get completely wire brushed and inside and out, and then we can look at coats of paint and things like that. But if I had a sandblaster, that would be the best thing, but maybe in the near future I'll be looking at that. But yeah, it's going to be fine just now for the clocking to wire brush it. I'm not going to show this getting ground or wire brushed because there's only so much time lapse you can look at for one video, one project, and I'm not going to bore you to death with it. Also, I'll keep it as low as I can. One of the problems I'm having, problem solving, is actually where to put the hands, because ideally what I would want is the clock mechanism to attach onto here, the spindle to go through here, through the cap here and attach, and then the hands come in like a clock hands basically, and then that would hold this in place, and it would also, they would basically hold each other in place, so you wouldn't need an awful lot of fixings. But all the research I've done so far, this recess in here is about 2 inches, and a clock spindle or a clock shaft, an extra long one, comes to 31mm, which is not long enough, so we're falling short for that. So then I started thinking, well, maybe the front here, we could look at mounting the, if you like, mounting this on here, and then getting the cover plate across it to make it look like that. The problem with that then is if you fix that onto there and do that, the back here, you're then having problems getting the battery in and out, so yeah, we'll need to look at that as well. And I've not got the tools to go cutting recesses in here without cutting all the way through and making a mess of it, so that's something I need to look at and do a bit more research too. I have contacted a few websites that do mechanisms that deal with clocks and stuff, and I've not had any reply yet, which is a bit of a shame because I thought they would have lots of time on their hands. Sorry, but it's Christmas time, bad cracker jokes, had to put one in. So I'm just going to focus on getting this ground down. So after a bit of this, and then with a little bit of this, you end up with something that resembles this. This is all dust, and mainly in the back here. It's mainly the front I'm looking at. I'm not going for a brand new alloy look. I want all these scuffs and things to be left on so it tells a story and it has the history of the car, where it's been. You know, if I wanted a new one and had loads of money, I would just go and buy a new wheel and do that, but where's the fun in that? So I'm going to give this a good degrease and a good clean and see how it comes up after then. Then you will end up with something that resembles this. I've come outside just so the light's a wee bit better, although it is a bit dusty from in the back. So I have degreased it, cleaned it all up, got all the worst of it off. It's just ready for its acid etch. I'm going to keep the cap in place, or am I? Yeah, I'm just going to keep it in place because I don't want risk damaging it, and I want that bit of can't say that word, authenticity. So I'm just going to mask that.
skies too blue. You won't ever change your ways, doing what you do. Well, you can keep on talking, no one thing don't mean nothing, the same old thing again and again. Well, I know it's fool, it's the best I'm walking, 'cause this time I'm not joking. I'll let all this again and again. Well, I know it's fool.
Right, that is the wheel being primed, painted, lacquered to the standard I'm happy with. Standard I'm happy with for a clock anyway. Take a bit more work obviously for a car, but yeah, I'm happy with what I've got for this. So as you can see, it's a fair bit different to than before I started. So what I'm doing now, I've decided this is going to be the 12 o'clock 639. So I drilled holes here on either side just to put the brackets on, and I'm instead of just putting one bracket at the top, I don't, because it's quite heavy, I want to spread the load for it. So just with these VL brackets, I'm going to just attach these. I was hoping with pop rivets, but the pop rivets I've got, they're not going to fit on the bracket and the wheel because it's too thick. So I've got a screw set here, and I'm just going to use wee nuts and bolts screw. I'm just going to attach it on like this. One on either side, one on this side, one on this side, and then as you would a picture, I've got some picture string that's quite strong. Attach it across there, and then I'll basically hold it in the middle and I'll spread the weight. There you go, that's the back hanging brackets and string attached, and yeah, I do need new scissors. Right, when I ordered these stickers, they came in a pack of 5, so I'm going to try this one on this centre cap to see what it looks like. And it does look good. Now it's just deciding whether I prefer the grey centre cap or the black centre cap, but that looks good. Obviously need to put a hole in when the spindle comes through, but yeah, that looks good. So just using a pencil, It seemed a shame to deface it, but it is in the centre. And then using the clock movement gives you an idea of what it's going to sit like. Right, so it's taken me a few days just to think what I want to do, how I want to mount this. And I've changed my mind about 3 or 4 times now. I did think somehow getting the clock movement and just mounting it on here by glue or something similar. But again, then you had the issue with replacing the battery and changing the time when the clocks went forward or back. So then I thought, is there any other things I could get? And I found, well, I had one of these from an old clock that was lying around, and that fits over there. I thought I could have had that and then put this on here, but you know, I didn't like it. I didn't like that there. So eventually, after a lot of thought, what I came up with was, I've got the clock movement here. I've attached it with a small screw to a centre cap with the clips on, albeit one missing. It's still quite a good fit. So that means that I can take this off just by unscrewing it when I want to replace the battery or change the time, and it also just clips on. So this is my 12 o'clock position here. There we go, clips on there. So I didn't want just this showing, I don't know, I just don't like the look of it. I wanted something car related. I've got this badge, but if you put that over there you can still see the clock. So I looked around the garage and I thought, well, what do I use quite a lot? What would look good? An old cutting disc. So I tried putting a cutting disc over, and then the Cooper badge over, and then doing it up. And it's obviously a personal preference. Some will like it and some don't, but I think it's really good. I really like it. Right, so I had to make a little amendment. As you can see, the hole I drilled to start with in the middle, it was interfering with the clock mechanism, so it wasn't telling the time properly. So I opened the case, checked what was a safe bit. Up here is just casing up here to attach it to, so that's what I done. Trial and error. I'm not a clock expert, that's for sure. And we have it, the finished working clock. Very pleased with it. Don't know if I might have to change the mechanism because the ticking will probably drive me mad, so yeah. But just a fun project to get my teeth stuck into, and yeah, really enjoyable. You can see from the top I wanted to keep it not pristine. I wanted to basically show all the war wounds and scars, as I mentioned earlier on, plus the used cutting disc. I didn't want to use a brand new one because I wanted to have character. So yep, that is my clock. Right, that's it for another video. Thanks for watching, not just this, but thanks for watching all year, and thanks for the comments. I keep saying I'm really enjoying this, and hopefully you're enjoying it as well. This was just about having a fun little project. I will be getting back to the car videos in the new year, starting with the refurbing the hub. I've started that already, and I'll be finishing it off. But yep, I've obviously done a few videos on buying the parts lot I got, and that's kept me going for a bit, and then moving the garage. But yeah, definitely getting back to the car videos and getting stuff done in the new year. And hopefully if I can get some strength back in my arm, I can start looking at bodywork, welding, things like that, so I can use the new welder. But yep, so Merry Christmas everyone, and all the best for the new year, and I'll see you in 2018. Cheers!